Welcome back. So today is another wonderful day to talk about data analysis with Python. I hope you hear my voice. Do you hear me, guys? Yeah? Say something.
Yes.
Great. And you see also my screen, right?
Yes.
Great. So as you can see now, it's well structured. You can see what we have covered in the first week, and the recording can be also found here, and the code can be found here. Yeah. And the same goes for every weeks. And the API we used, as you can see, the recording. Or if you just want to get the playlist, you can get it here. And you don't have to just go YouTube and GitHub once, so you come here and you get everything in one place. What are we going to talk about today? I think it's not included here for some reason, but let me check. I think we planned to talk about, I think this is the, I usually see this. Sometimes if I forget to, I forgot to push this. So let me just push it. CD desktop. Yeah, git add it on it. Yeah, some notes has been added, so git. Yeah, so I should have pushed it, but it was forgotten. So we talk about NumPy, Pandas, data visualization in Matplotlib. But first, actually, we talk about NumPy with Matplotlib to visualize data, and then Pandas. But before that, we had this question that was pending for some time. I think I gave you here in the third week, if you remember, write a script that calculate the max, minimum, the maximum, the minimum, the mean, the median, standard deviation, range, mode, percentile, and weight or lifespan of the cats from the cats API. Okay, great. I think we have in statistics, these are the measure of central tendency, like the mean, and the mode, and the median, and also variation, like the standard deviation and the variance, the range, even there was this range, the differences here. I think some of you already are much better than in statistics than me, so I don't have to go much detail about the, so where shall I work on that? Maybe exercise. I can just create a folder, exercises. So here I want to create one file again. I can call it exercises.py. So it's related to the, I think it's good also to take the notes there because it will help us to, I will take it here. Then it's related to the cat API. So now you know how to handle APIs or fetch APIs. So I don't have to really do everything all over again. So I have to go to week 2, or where is it? Yeah, and fetching the data. So I will copy this. Or do you want me to do it? Maybe I change it just to refresh. It will help you to refresh. Then what you need actually import requests. It's a package. We have already installed this requests. And then we have to have the URL of the cat API. And then let's take it from here actually. Yeah, I can take it from here. Then we can put it here. Then this request is actually handle get and the put, the post, the delete, different request methods. But today we are interested to fetching data from URL. And you know what it has, right? Maybe you might have forgotten. So let's just show you what it has. Yeah, so my formatter format this, and as you can see that this we have 67 cats over here. All the way down, the different cat properties. So key value, and we call this a JSON file. Yeah, it's a JSON file. If you go up to the end, as you can see at the bottom 66 because it starts from 0, but totally 67 cats. Then we can say this request is .get URL, and we can store this as in data or response whatsoever, response. Then this is actually, we got the response in some object form, and we have to get the data as in by saying response.json. Yeah, this is the code you need to fetch data. It's not only for this cat API, for any API. So even we can create a function called def fetch data, fetch API data. Okay, then this will take, by the way, URL, and then we can just put this, something like this. Then we want to return the data, as you can see. No, we don't need here anymore. So this actually, this function will work for the countries API, for anything. So let me show you. Then you have to call fetch API data, and you have to pass the URL. Now we are making this function generic. Yeah, so if we just now print the value, pprint, you know pprint because it's a pretty fine, from print import pprint. If you remember, so I want to use the print. If I just print everything, it will be too much. So I would like to just slice a couple of them, maybe 2 of the objects or documents. I didn't see anything so far. Yeah, sometimes it's jump. So if something happens, it's not going to the exercises. So let's go to cd exercises and just let's run Python and the exercises file. Yeah, as you can see, now we're fetching it. Yeah, and another easy way to collect the cat's weight, we can go, yeah, where do we get the cat's weight? If you see here, where was it? By the way, it has a bit of a task, as you can see, weight. We have to go down. So then we can do some kind of, I think I can store this, cats. Then cats, I'm storing here the cats, but not all the cats. I want to store all the cats. And then if I am interested in the weights, there's no English word weights, but in Python we can do whatever. For cat, in cats, then we are interested actually weight, the cat, and maybe the weight. Okay, then let's see what we can get from here. Print weights. Yeah, it's not working that way for some reason, but we can run it No such a file. We're not looking for a file. Yeah, because the path is different. This is what we want. Yeah, as you can see now, have you seen? But we are now interested the metric unit. So you just again add here metric. Okay. Then if you see the result again, yeah, now as you can see, we want to add these guys. Yeah. These two values, and we have to just find a way. I'm just wondering, does the eval give us then, what does the eval gives? Evaluate sometimes extract the word actually, I mean the numbers. But let me see what it gives me. My 3.5, yes, so it's not a very good number because it just evaluate this as a subtraction, but we don't do that as in a subtraction. It would have been much better. Maybe we can replace this with a plus and evaluate. That would be another easy way. So maybe we can do dot replace minus with a plus. By the way, we didn't do this last time. We did it differently, but you know you can use a different approach. And now, as you can see, we did actually the addition. And then what we can do, we can divide this into 2. I mean, it's average, right? So I can just say undo. Maybe we can create this as a function, simple function, def format weight, and it takes the cat, and then it returns this value. Return this value divided by 2 because we want the average, and then I can call that here format weight, and then the cat. But what is this? Maybe I think I missed some. Yes. Now, if we go, yes, this is the weight. Yeah. Again, as you can see, very tiny function, but it just worked for us. Now, the next step is actually calculating the mean. Mean is actually, how do you calculate mean? So mean, if you have, for instance, 2, 1, 3, 4, and 0, maybe again 2. So what's the mean of this? Actually, you plus 2 plus 1 plus 3 plus 4 plus 2. Yeah. And then I don't like when something is written like this anyway. And divided by the number of observations or the number of elements, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah. So to make this in Python, so we can just do this for the time being. I can call it nums. You have the nums to get the lengths. Okay, what's the length of or the total number of observation? We can call it n. So nums, actually length nums. Yes, to get the sum, or we can call it total sum over nums. I mean, yeah, we can pass this array. By now, average or the mean total divided by the total number of observation. Now let's do the print average. Yes, I hope you're enjoying the voice of the bird. Okay, great. Let's do the printing. Maybe I can just run it manually. Yeah, it's 2.4. So we managed to calculate. So we do the same for the weight. So instead here, we don't do the nums. I can change this to weights. And then here also weights. And then the average will be now, let's see. Yeah, it's, have you seen 4.70 something, but sometimes you want to limit the significant digits to 3 significant digits or 2 significant digits. But now, as you can see, we have quite a lot of them. Okay, but as I told you also, we have to have a function, def calc mean. That means I should have take a list, and actually we can make use of this, copy or cut, and then I just put it here. And let me show you. And then list and return average. So when we return the average here, now we don't need here printing. Now this mean, the calculate the mean function, calculate anything. So what you should do, print, we don't have to say that, print, just calculate the mean, and we just pass the weights. Yeah, I have to get again 4.7 something. I think that's not just working for me now. Yeah, as you can see, 4.7 and 0.8, but I want to just cut off, so we can just use round, the round method. Okay, I can just round it to now 2 significant digits. Let's see. Yeah, 4.71. Great. Now we are done with the mean. Okay, with the same example, let's do the median. Okay. Okay, what's the median? To calculate a median, there are steps. The first step is actually sorting. So when we sort this, we will have something like this. So this is going to be 1, and then this is going to be 2, 3, 4, and this is my sorting. I don't know, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, when we sort this, it will be like this, right?
Yeah.
Great. Then we can do, after sorting, we have to find the mid value. Here it's an odd, so the mid value will be 2. But if it was even number, for instance, if we have 1 extra element, then the mid value will be 2 elements, right? So to find, so we have to find what index do we use if it is odd, like this. That means n divided by
2.
If you, for instance, you have now currently 5 divided by 2, 2.5. There is no index. The so-called with a float to 2. No, so it should be an integer. So we can actually do a floor division. a floor division. Then we can remove the remainder. Yeah. Do you agree?
Yeah.
Okay, then we can use the floor division 1, or we can change this also int the value. You can divide this and change it to int, but we go for a floor division. But what if this was like this? Let's see also the other condition. What am I doing now, guys? We call this actually a kind of a pseudo code. Before writing the code, understanding what we are going to do step by step. Did you get the point, guys, what I'm doing?
Yeah. Yeah.
Great. I'm just doing the pseudo. So now maybe we have another value also 5. And actually now the mid values are these values. So how do we get the mid value here? So we have.
Sorry, if I look at line 38, I think it's maybe the mid value should be 2. We don't need to divide with anything. So then we can move to line 39. That's my own view.
You have 5, then the total number is 5.
Yeah.
If you divide 5 by 2, it's going to be 2.5. So
okay.
you can't do
then it's like I'm totally confused because the median, I think it's the number at middle.
Yes.
Then we have 5 number.
Yes.
So then when we have 5 numbers, so number 2 should be the median.
Yes, the median is number 2. To extract this value, you have to know the index this value. How do you get that index?
Okay. Okay, yes. So you mean like, okay, we are going to use index to find the middle value.
Yes,
now.
yes.
Okay, now I get what you're saying.
Now I'm just giving you a small example. The size of your list might be very big and you never know where it falls, the mid. You never know where the mid falls. But now it is small data and we can see that this is the mid, right? The median, this is the median. And for this is the median. But the point is, how do we get this index? And if we know the index, we can get this out, right?
Yeah.
Yes, so you divide by 2, but you get a float. And then actually, then you can do this in many ways. 1, you can just use a floor division and remove the remainder. Or another, you can just use the int. After you divide, you can use the int. Or you can also go for floor, map.floor, map.floor, and then just 2.5. So there are many ways. Have you seen? We just then, yes. So 0, 1, 2, as you can see, 0, 1, 2. Then now I'm just showing you with the small data, then you can make use of this for big data. Okay, now let's see for a big value. When we divide this with a big, for a 6 byte, with an even, we have this 6, right? 6 by 2, you get 3, right? So, but let's see where 3 is. 0, 1, 2, 3. So actually we need this value. Okay, great, this one. But how do we get this one? By subtracting from 1, great. So it is going to be something like this. N, one of the index is going to be n divided by 2, and the other index is going to be n divided by 2 minus 1. So these are the indexes. This and this. Do you agree with these indexes?
No.
Why?
Just since the index starts with 0,
yeah.
So it's gonna be like the first number should be n over 2.
Yeah.
I mean, oh, you said n minus 1. I mean, you subtract already -1, so that's fine. I'm sorry, that's fine.
Okay.
That's
All right. So everybody seems to understand this. N divided by 2 means this one. And when n minus 1 means this value, then we have the two values. Then so how do we do that? So 3, n by 2, the index is 3, so I will have 3. Plus, and n, so 3 minus 1, 2, 0, 1, 2, then it's two values. Then you just do by, and again we divide this by 2, and the value is going to be actually 2.5. Again, the median is 2.5. Okay, now let's change this concept to calc median. And we just passed a list, right? And what I want to do actually is I just use the same thing because it's easy for us to know the same value, this value. Okay, what did I do? If list the length of not actually, if yeah, actually list divided by 2 is equal to 0, that means if it's even, we do which operation? This one, this operation. So I go for this first. It's going to be, I think it's better if I have n outside. N is equal to list, something like this. And then even I can, instead of putting, I can just compare n something like this. Yeah. And then actually n is going to be like this. And the second index, maybe I think instead of first, it would be easy for you. First index, this one, and the second index is going to be first index minus 1. Yeah, because we use the first index by just dividing 2, and yes, but it seems a bit, the order seems a bit confusing, but it's okay. Then what do we do after that? What we do is actually list first index plus list second index. And then we can just do this and divide by 2. And we return this value here. Else we return another value, else we return another value, and that's going to be floor division. So index, because we need only one index here, n by floor division of, sorry, what did I do here? Yes, n by floor division of
2. Floor division of 2, you're right.
Floor division of 2. Yes, and then I can return the list of index. Yeah. Now our beautiful function is ready to be used. So then what you can do, then let's print calc the median, the mean, sorry, the median, and I want to make use of this. Let's pass here, and let's see the value. So I'm expecting from this, it's going to be actually 2. What? Yeah, because the problem, if you don't give a label, median, you never know from where it's coming from. It says 3. How?
You know, in this
We need to
data,
provide.
you didn't sort it,
Yes.
so it's correct.
Perfect.
Okay.
Line
Yes.
50 is correct. So
Yes.
if you sort
Yes.
it now, then it should give you true.
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you, guys. Okay, then I have to change it here. Sorted list, and I want to use the method sorted because it doesn't really mutate out my data. So I just sorted it here. Thank you so much for noticing that. That's not easy sometimes to notice sorted list. And also, by the way, so yeah, I have to use sorted list everywhere. Sorted list. Is there anywhere we have? Yes, again here. Sorted list. Thanks. Yes, the median is 2. Now, if we try for this one, let's try for that. Print, and again, the median or another value, calculate a median. Oh, nice. Let's read what happened. Listeners must be integer or slice, not float. Okay, where is the float? Okay, did it give me here? Line 50. Let's. Yeah, okay, but so we have here. And this is for even. And this is for, let me see the value of the index. Index is 2. And then but yeah, if it is, but it shouldn't come even here, shouldn't, because only this.
Is it possible for us to comment out line 52? Then let's print line 53 and see what is going to be the result. So then you can be able to.
Yeah, okay, 52, then, okay, 50. List must be integer or slice is not float. Line 53. Wait, is it a float? Let me see. Oh yeah, yeah. So yes, as you can see, a division usually give us a float, and we ended up having a float. So yeah, what we should do, we can do, I think I should change this to an int.
Yeah, int, yeah.
Again, if this is an int, I don't have to change it here. I think by now everything should be okay. So division usually, let me just show you CMD P, and 4/2 gives you a float. It's going to be 2.0. Yeah. What? 4 divided by 2. Yeah, as you can see, it has a float. So a float couldn't be an index. Yeah, that was the problem. So by now we should get a proper value, median 2.5, and median at for the first is 2. Yeah, great. Now we fixed, and let's remove. After you debug everything, remember to remove the printing part in your code. In JavaScript, guys, it really takes lots of processing power, and it reduces the speed, okay, of or the performance of your website or your applications, or remove your printings when you finish. Okay, this is what we have for calculate median. Nice. Now we can use a different approach for what are we going to calculate? Max, minimum, median. We did this. Now it's going to be standard deviation. Okay, let's go for a standard deviation. So it's good to do this again. I may take this value for standard variation. I call this standard variation. So for standard variation, what we do, the steps we do usually, first, calculate.
Oh, sorry, before we go further to standard deviation, why can't we use that median to find the median from this CAT API?
Oh, yeah, the median. Okay, yeah, you're right. Great. Print median, and median of cat's weight. Yeah, and you can say calc median, and you pass just weights again with no problem. Yeah, and then you just run the power of a function. Once you make it, you just run. Yeah, as you can see, it's 4.5, and the median and the mean are very close. Yeah, great, thank you. I forgot that part. Okay, calculate y. Well, how do I write the calculate? That doesn't matter. Calculate mean. The mean, yeah. We have to calculate the mean, and then actually the steps. What we do? I have this value, right? Yes. Then actually value x1 minus the mean, and then I have to do square, and again plus, and then I have to do x2. X2 means the second value, and then again from the mean, and then I have to go up to the end, up to xn minus mean, and then everything this divided by n, and then this has to be under radical, right? So I have to show you standard deviation calculation. Yeah, this is what I'm talking about. This sigma, the sum of the difference of each observation and the mean squared divided by the total observation, and it gives us actually the standard deviation. Without this, we get the variance without the square, without the radical sign. Yeah, so we will implement this. So easy, right? Okay, calculate mean. We did already the calculation of the mean. We used the calc mean. And yeah, so let's do then. If calc standard SDV actually is good. And then we take a list. And then based on what we mentioned here, we have to calculate mean. We can calculate mean, something like this. Calc mean and the list, because we have a function already somewhere. Yeah, great. And then the sum of all, to do the sum of all, now we can do reduce or some other method if you want, or a function. Okay, let's say for value in list, I may do some kind of a total. A total usually starts from 0. And then I may say, remember this, okay, x1 minus mean square. X, so in this case, v, or maybe I think x would be nice because usually it's x minus the mean, this mean. And then I have to do the squaring thing, right? This will, I can do this square. But so total, I have to do this every time. Then I will get the total at the end. So what this total means actually, this part, yeah. And then we have to go out from the loop and we get the total part here. Maybe I think for you, it would be so easy if we don't make it a function now, and we will change it to a function later because it's easy to print at each stage. Now let me show you just the total now. The total. List is not, yeah, because we didn't pass any list. For instance, I can just pass the cat or the weights of the cat, and let's see.
The loop, yeah, in for loop list, yeah.
Line 62. Line 62.
Weights, and then let's do that. Yeah, as you can see now, this is the total, the square total, the difference of each observation squared, and then we add all of them. The next step will be actually dividing this by total observation. So we have n, we will have again n, n will be length of the cats, or yes, then n. But that's not enough, but it will be small number. I have to see the formula again. We just do this, all the squaring divided by the number. And then even we are left with one operation, and that operation is actually the square root. So we can do the math square root by importing this value, import from math, import square root, and you may put this inside the square root. And if we see, have you seen the standard deviation of the cat 61.05? It's very small. So is it a good thing or bad thing? What does that really this mean?
This means there is 1.05 unit of measurement difference between the mean and each individual weight of the cat.
Yes. Yeah, so this is a variability measure. As he mentioned that this is a deviation from the mean, this amount from deviation from the mean. Okay, so but you can also do the same operation. You don't have to import this. Instead, you can use something like 0.5 and you can achieve the same thing. I'm not in favor of importing everything, so I use just sometimes such kind of operation. Then now, since you understood what we've been doing, let's change this to a function. And this will be returned. Return, but I have to change also this to a function. Def calculate standard deviation list. And now I want to make it this modular. As you can see, mean instead of weights, I want to change it to just list because I want to make it modular. And then calc standard. What is this? Standard deviation, and I pass the weight. Now, in this case, the weights. So this calculate the year, the weight, anything. What you do is just you pass a list and it calculate anything. So that's why the name, we didn't say this, calculate standard deviation of a cat or something. It's just calculate standard deviation. And this is so generic, you can pass any list and it calculates standard deviation for you. The reason why we are doing this is actually, I would like to teach you also how to use functions, how to create your own function. Already Python got its own library to do such a kind of common task. And NumPy has a very robust methods to do statistical analysis and mathematical calculations. But the main purpose of this exercise is actually to help you think how to use different functions, how to make custom functions, how to call functions, how to use custom functions in another custom function. And yeah, that's the point of this lesson. And of course, at the same time, also to help you remember the basic statistical measures or something, the standard deviation and measure of variability. Yeah, so this is too large number again. We have to use some kind of rounding. So I can say the value or maybe standard dev, you can call it. I can store it something like this and around the standard deviation, this SDDV, and then I have to give some two significant digits is enough. Okay, that is great. Then what is left? It might be too long for you. I think it would be nice if we have a 10 minutes break and then if we continue after that. Yeah, then let's have a 10 minutes break and we will continue doing the exercise after the break. Yeah, see you soon, guys.
Okay, see you.
Welcome back. So where did we stop? We just did this, the calc standard deviation. If you want to have a variance, a def and calc variance, and then you may just do, actually variance is the square root of, the square of the standard deviation, right? So you may just return calc standard deviation and then square. But this has to take again a list and then a list. I'm just passing the list to all. Then if you want print calculate of a variance, and then the weights of the cat. Yeah, of course, the square of this. Yeah. Again, if we want to just limit this to a certain significant digits, we may say var or just variance. We can just put it here for some time. And then round is so easy to use, a variance, and maybe two significant digits. Yeah, 1, 1, 2. Great. What else left? Range. So now let's find range. Range is already, so calculate range. And you have to have a list. Who can help me to calculate the range, guys? Yeah, the range means actually
Max
mean, right? Yeah, so, but how do we find the max and the mean? If I ask you without using the, but in a Python is so beautiful. You have already the max and the minimum, and you may return max of the list minus mean of the list. And this actually gives you the result right away. But another way, if we didn't have this max and mean, we can also do sorted list, and then you may sort it, and then you pass the list. This actually sort ascending from then the maximum is going to be maximum value sorted list. Where do I get the maximum value?
minus 1.
Yes.
Yeah.
And the minimum value, and this x max and mean, and sorted, and then 0, and you can return max minus mean. But you have already this, okay? You don't have to write this, just to show you. In JavaScript, for instance, there are some methods we don't have in the Python has quite a lot of methods, easy to use methods. Yeah. Okay, so I go for this, the simplistic. Yeah, but both are okay. Yeah. So we calculate actually the range. What would be difficult to calculate is
sorry if I may suggest.
Yes.
The one you delete, maybe you can just comment it out for.
Yes.
Just comment it out so that you can.
Actually, I can just comment this out, and it will be.
Yeah. Thanks.
Yes. Then we can have this, and if you just want to know, print range and weights, and if you do this, yeah, the problem of not having a label is what? The range of cat's weight yeah, it's 4.5. Okay, but that's quite a lot. What's the maximum? Max, just max and weights. Okay, 7.5. Okay, let's see the minimum. Print minimum. Weight. And then mean. Yeah, 3.0, 7.5 minus. So it's good. Yeah, we were right. Okay, so let's see what we are supposed to do more. Do you have a question?
Yes, I have a question.
Yes.
I didn't understand max equal to sorted list -1.
This?
No, the second line of the
Similar line 78.
yeah.
Line 78. Yes. Okay. Yeah. Good. If you remember, if we have some index, some list, let's imagine 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you agreed that we sorted this, right?
Yes.
That means we sorted it ascendingly. So if we have a data, it will look like this. So when it comes to list in Python, we can use index starting from 0 indexing. Yeah, imagine we don't have this 0 also. We have just, let's imagine our number starts from 1 to 5. And the index here is 0, right?
Yes.
Or we can start from the other side. If we start from the other side, actually, we can start with a negative indexing.
-1.
-1, -2, -3. So if we are targeting this, actually -1, or the last index method, the last index is actually the length of this array -1, but -1 is just better. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Thanks.
Great. Yeah, ask a question whenever you have, whenever you get lost. It's really good. To move on, yeah, let's go to here. Maximum we know now, minimum we know now, mean, median, standard deviation, range, and the mode. The mode is left. I just leave percentile for you, but I can do the mode. Okay, what's the mode? Then I have to take again this value or this value. Okay, this looks like, okay. Then mode. Let's have this is the data first. Just we have this data and we don't need this step. When we want to calculate a mode first, we have to sort again. Yeah. The reason why we sort, because it will help us to know which is actually the what is this? The most frequent mode means the most frequent value. So actually what it means, data and frequency. Okay, so 1. How many times do I have 1? 1 times, yeah. And then 2. How many times do I have the 2 times, actually, as you can see, 2 times. How many times do I have 3?
1.
1 times. And how many times do I have 4? 1 times again. So what is the most frequent value here?
2.
2, because 2 occur 2 times. Yes, but this is small data. This small data easy to see. And it's easy to order such kind of a frequency table, right? But how about if this data was a very big data? How it's hard, right? Yeah. So we have to develop something, some method or some function that will help us to calculate, like the way we did for the others. Then help me out, guys. How about if we go a frequency table, if we create a kind of a frequency table? So I actually, if you remember, this is a kind of I believe this is a kind of what is this? A dictionary for me. Yeah, the key, a value, a key, a value, a key, a value, a key value. Yeah, does it make sense?
Yeah.
So then we have to change this data as a key value. Okay, great. Then 4. I can, so I have to 4x in this value. Then let me just create a fake frequency table, and I call it just empty for the time being. So even though I'm just calling this frequency table, but I'm creating what? A dictionary. Yeah. Is it okay? Can I call it frequency table? Is it okay? Or do you have a problem for this labeling? Yes, it's okay. Because as I told you, I removed my, yeah. Femi, you're right. Sometimes I destroy things too fast. Yes, I should have that table. Because that's so easy to look at. Yes. So as you can see, this value is all the time key, and this value is the number of frequency, how many times it occur, or we call it a count. Yep. So I can just, as he said, commenting now is much better, and let's just make use of this. For x in, print x. Yeah, this just print x. It doesn't make any difference. So the freak table, we call it a dictionary, and we assign it to an empty dictionary, and then we create if x not in a frequency table, then we say freak table, and then x as in a key, and then we can say if it doesn't exist, what we can do actually, we can just say 1 times it's occurring. Else we can say actually we increase this value, so we can say +1, and we assign it to here. And then now let's see what's happening. Print the freak table. Yeah, what it means here, if x is not existing in the table, then create that and assign it 1 times. Yeah, that means, hey, is there 1 there? No, if it's not, okay, add it and just give it 1. But if it exists the second time, then we add 1 every time. So let's see what the freak table looks like. As you can see, the freak table, 2 times, 1 times, 3 1 times, 4 1 times. Okay, what do you think, guys? Are we going to the way we want? Are we?
Yeah.
Yes, but not yet. We have to sort this, you know. When it comes to dictionary, for instance, you may have now, let's change the data. We may have here 5, 8, we may have 2 again, we may have 4, we may have 0, 1, whatsoever. But you know, once if you make a function, and that function will take care of, yes, as you can see, 2 occur 3 times, 1 2 times, but just this doesn't happen all the time. So I think another way is we have to sort this. Okay, shall we sort it? Okay, let's use the sort method. X sort it, and let's see what we get from this. When you just use sorted, actually it sort the values, the only the keys. Okay, so that's not very good. So what we can do, we can actually change this to items, dot items. And then again, I may see what I get. Now items actually change to list of lists. As you can see now, this is the key, 0 1 times, 1 2 times, 2 3 times, and 3 1 times, 4 2 times, 8 2 times. So now what's the mode? Of course, this is the mode. Yeah,
True.
2 occur 3 times, so 2. Now I have to sort this because the sorted value has, I think, this key value, and we can use lambda for lambda x is equal to, then we can sort based on the value, not this. Then let's so to sort the value. This is the, I mean, this is the 0 index, and this is the second index. So I can say x into, x into the second value, that means 1. And now I think this will help us to sort it properly. Yes, as you can see, what? Yes, but as, yeah, it's good, but it's sorted in the other way. So I can slice with a negative value, or we can say reverse this true. So then it will be descending order. As you can see now, 2 3 1 2, yeah, 2 occurs 3 times, 1 occurs 2 times, 4. So now again, what I should do, let me just stop this printing. I may just, and I have to store this sorted value. From the sorted value, I want to just slice the last value, I mean the first value. That means 0, and I want to just return this because now I want to change this to a function. Yeah, I am just because okay, def calc mode, and then it takes again a list. This is what we do. Why this is something like that. Then list, where are instead here is going to be a list. And then again, everything will remain the same. I think, yeah, this is what we need. Yeah, so now let's see a print calc mode, and then weights of the cat. And I have to say modes or mode, and let's see the value we get. Yeah, as you can see, 4 exists how many times?
13.
13 times. So we need this to be like a tuple because the second number tell us how many times it occurs. Of course, we can also create a different, like we can say this a value for and count 30, but this is just okay, good enough. And I will leave the percentile to, of course, percentile also varies, the first quartile, the mid, and the last quartile, all those kind of things. I just leave that for you. This is good enough.
Sorry, if I may ask.
Yes.
I know. Is there any way to get the graph for that mode? For
graph?
Yeah, graph. I mean,
okay.
Like bar chart, you know.
Yes.
For the mode, so that we can be able to see physically, like, okay, this is rate 13 or something like that. So then we can be able to know the actual number from 3 to 7.5, the amount of number that is there.
Import matplotlib dot py plot as PLT, yeah. So PLT dot bar graph usually takes X, Y. So in this case now we have the weights, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
So if we have the weights, okay.
We have the weight and then the time, the occurrence.
Yes, the occurrence. Yeah. So that we don't have now that separately. We have it here. So our function doesn't do that, but we can just remove this function for the time being and make some of the codes and make use of the sum of the codes inside. Yeah. You know that function sometimes.
Please don't forget, comment it out.
Yeah. Okay, let's just then, as you said, let's just make that standalone and make use of some of the code from this. Yeah, so now, yes, we have to, yeah, I think I have to just, yes, so sorted value has both keys and values. So now you are interested in more the X and so I can say this sorted, but do you remember what it has the sorted value? I have to show you, yeah, because it's hard for everybody to remember what is here. And I may also delete this for time being and comment this out. And let's look at what we can get from line number 114. Okay, let's see. Oh, name list is not defined yet because I changed this to a modular function. Now let's get it to, I think after this, I don't need anything. Yeah. Yes, as you can see, it seems something like this. So the first value is actually the weight, and the second value is the what is this? The
Mode.
count, the mode or the count. So now the X value is going to be now so sorted. Or do I just take the keys? Do I have, can I get the keys from this? Let me try. At least, okay. Yeah, but I don't have to. For X, for the time being, I can just say X like this and Y like this. And I can go for and the key and value for sorted value, but I will print out for you for I think what am I doing in, and I'll just show you what we can get for key and value. So when I'm doing this, actually I am destructuring these individual tuples when I am iterating. So the key is going to be this value and the value going to be this value. And let's see what we can get. Yeah, this value. Now I want to store those value here. X append the key and Y just append the value. So what do you think the X value for this? I think
X is key. And then
yes,
Y is value.
Yes. Yeah. So the key should be the X, and yeah. Then let's just visualize this using matplotlib. So easy.
Before you go further, the spelling line 120 is not correct. Append line 120.
Append. Oh, nice. Nice. Yes, that's the so matplotlib. So plt.bar and then X, Y is enough for now, and plt.show. And let's see and what we can get. Oh. So for happiness 13 times, yeah, so as you can see, it's somewhere around. So 4 was the mod, yeah?
Yeah.
But
And that
yeah,
we can see that this is skewed to the right. You know, there is a tail on the right side. So there are few cats who has an average weight of between 6 and 7. It looks like a tail.
yes, yeah. Yes, it's skewed to the right, yes. It has some kind of this. It's not a normal kind of a normal distribution, but it has some kind of skewness. Yeah, sometimes the skewness could be like this, or to the left, to the right. Yeah. But you can also add, this is the weight and this is the frequency, and you can just add a label. Label is usually very important. PLT X label, and the X is actually weight in kilogram, I think, yes. And the Y label, and you can say count or frequency. And then PLT title, and you may say cats weight. Then if we run, first you have to destroy this, what you have, before you run it again. And let's run and see. Yeah, so it looks like something, maybe when you just give a label, it has some meaning. So whenever you save, if you are using a VS Code, when you save this, you have to just adjust those things. You can save it like this. But we can also save it using this. Just you can say plt.savefig, and you can just give it a name, cats weight freak table .png, and then run it again, and it will be saved in our folder. I will just run this once more, and you will have it. Yeah, it's here, and at the same time, I should have it somewhere in the exercise. Yeah, it's here also. Have you seen it? So we have the image too. Do you have any question, guys?
I have a question.
Yes.
Yeah, when you give the name of the chart, you put dot and slash. So is it mandatory to give this kind of sign to save any figure?
You mean this?
Yeah.
Because I'm referring to, do you know the meaning of dot slash?
No.
Yeah, the meaning of dot slash means in this directory. If you say dot go out from this directory. And if I have more even, dot go out from this directory, and also go out from the directory you are going out. So you are about to go out 2 directories, yeah? But if we have just this, means dot slash means in this directory. So I should get my image here in this, the exercise directory. So it's not a must. Even without that, let's destroy. You will get it. But in a real life, when you deploy something, the slash thing is actually very, very important. But on local missions, sometimes even without this dot, it can be, it can work. Yes. Sometimes when I teach basic things to my students, and when they try something, it works for them. Oh, okay, it works. I don't have to do something like this or whatsoever. Please, teacher, don't complicate things or something. They may say, But something that works on local machine may not work when it's deployed. Okay, good. But anyway, the meaning of this is just a path. It's an absolute, it's a relative path that helps you to direct where to go. Yes,
Yeah.
for instance, if I do, let me show you. I'm just dot dot, and if I say dot dot, I'm going out, and then if I say this, if I say dot dot, go out from this and create it in here.
Mm.
Yeah. Okay, good, guys. Do you have any question? Okay, if you don't have any question, then let's have a break, and then after, yes?
Yeah. Is it possible to like change the color or like edit the graph here?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, so because now it's not a visualization lesson, and I didn't go much further, of course, now we have this. You can, for instance, change it to a color, and you can just give a color, maybe coral. Coral is a very just a kind of an orange, something kind of a color. And let's do this and see if it's changing. Yeah, as you can see. And of course, even we can change this to a scatter plot. A scatter, you don't have to just have only, but different graphs are good for different purpose. Now, as you can see, it's a scatter plot, but this and the scatter plot looks like this. Even you can change the style of this scatter plot. Even now, I can change this to just a plot. If I say it a plot, that means it's going to be a line graph. So it's just straightforward to, yeah, it doesn't really make sense. It's just like this. That's why this representation is good for a bar graph. So yeah, it's hard, this one, right? If it's a bar graph, it's really easy too. And now at the same time, for instance, if we have a line width, I think line width, even we can just change the line width 5, and it can be even thicker than that sometimes if you want to change. Yeah, so this parameter, it's not just this few parameters, it takes quite a lot of parameters. Yeah.
Yeah.
So do you have to remember this? No. So what you should do, you come to the, I think I opened it before I start. So here is the official documentation for Matplotlib documentation. You click it, and then the documentation might be hard for everyone to read, but examples, why don't you just go for examples? Do you want to have a graph like this, or this, or this, or this? It's just straightforward to make use of the Matplotlib once, if you know how to use it. Yeah. And then even they have a code, a sample code. You just copy the sample code and you adapt it for your purpose. Yeah. But we will come to this to a different video or lesson. Okay. Shall we have yeah, do you have any questions?
One quick question about the bar graph that you had plotted, right?
Yeah.
It seems to be, at least when I was looking at it, it was like a bit cluttered together, like it was not individual.
Yes.
There seems to be some data plotting between 3 and 4 kg, for example.
Yes. Yes, so for that, we can, yeah, you're right. We can give a spacing. Have you seen this?
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't have the spacing, for instance, even now. How can we add a spacing in that? Let's see here, for instance, widths. Let's just give some amount of widths in the, I'm not sure exactly if it takes a width parameter, but let's try it. What is this? No. What does it say? Case insensitive perspective. But I want you to stop. Then at least, yeah. Thank you. CD exercise and Python in exercise P1. Yeah, have you seen now?
Great.
Yeah.
When we add
I thought
weeds, yes, and so now it's easy somehow to see. Now I think I used to.
it represents good data now.
Hmm?
It represents good data now.
Okay.
That, I mean, we can be able to read it now.
Yes, that's true. But now, even for me, the distance looks too much. You can also reduce the distance to maybe you can try it with 2.5, and let's try it again and see how it looks like. That's okay. Actually, the width is not this, the width of this. Actually, the width is actually the size of the bars. So that was actually very good. Even we can change it up to 0.5 and then it will be bigger. Yeah, have you seen it's a stack? So you have to just close this. Really, that was too much. Yeah, so it depends on. Yeah, whatever. You can maybe just.
Yeah, because it acknowledged 5.5, 3.5, something 0.5 in that data. So that is why I think so.
What acknowledge?
You know, between 3 and 4.
Yeah.
You can see the data, we have data of a 3.5.
Yes.
So then it acknowledged that.
Yeah. So let's just make this a good one, and then I think we have a easy to see. Good for the eyes, or 4 is also okay. Yeah, good. So now I think the sky is the limit, and everything you need can be found on the documentation, and it's all about making use of the documentation. If you try to remember everything by heart, that would be tough. But what you should learn, how to use something whenever you need it. And one, you come to the documentation. Another, you can just get solution from Stack Overflow. Yep, good. Okay, now I want to give you another 10 minutes break, and then after that, we will move on to the other assignment, and that's related to text. Yep. Are you happy with this one? Shall we finish the cat thing over here?
Yeah, it's okay. It's okay. It's okay.
Yes, so just let's finish the cat thing, but I think we have to give it a proper name, not this one, but this, because we are going to do another cat API exercise, but this can be used. it can be used for almost anything. So you can just copy this, and this can be used for any API. Do you know what do you have to change? Only the URL. It's a very, and instead of also cats, if we want to be, if we want it to be more modular, we can call it this data. Then you can make use of it. Maybe I think I have to create another file fetching the data.py, and I will just put it there. And so this part of the code I'm talking about, it's a very reusable code, and even we can just put this inside of here. Yes, and you can call this data and print your data. So as you can see, what you need all the time is just the URL. So you can change this URL to a cat or cryptocurrency or countries, and you get a data here. Great. Now let's have a break, 10 minutes break. Yeah, see you soon, guys.